Alright, you're welcome to Good Afternoon, Ghana. And today is the 11th of August, 2025. I am Annie Ofampo. I'm definitely here in the studio with Desmond Okwekudanso, who help us give us some more details of the updates of stories that are unfolding since that tragedy hits the country so hard. Well, we will bring you some more fallout of what's happening. We're still receiving tributes, both locally from institutions and internationally, from representatives of countries. In fact, some presidents from other African countries have been able to, visit Ghana to commensurate with us, especially the President John Dramani Mahama. We've also received a notification of how to streamline what we call prophecies. We'll give you all those details and some more explanation, but for now, we'll cross over to Desi. Good morning to you, Desmond. You're welcome. Sorry, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And you're welcome. You're welcome.
Good afternoon, Annie. We're happy. We thank God for giving us life, and we are here this morning. Of course, there are lots of issues that we're going to be dealing with.
You mean this afternoon?
Yes, this afternoon. Let's get into the headlines for the afternoon. Coming up this afternoon, the Office of the Presidential Envoy for Interfaith and Ecumenical Relations calls on religious leaders across Ghana to formally share any prophecies or spiritual insights of national importance with the government. We'll read full details of the statement issued yesterday. Also coming up in the bulletin this afternoon, a solemn burial ceremony was held on Sunday, August 10, for the two Muslim victims of the August 6th helicopter crash. Former Minister for Environment Dr. Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed and former Acting Deputy National Security Coordinator Alhaji Munir Lemuna were buried yesterday. And also the country has recorded new Monkeypox cases. We'll be sharing that with you in this bulletin. Please stay with us. Hello again, many thanks for joining us. We're live on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana and also DSTV channel 277. I am Desmond Okwekudanso. So let's get into the details of the stories now. Elvis Ifri-Yankra, the Presidential Envoy for Interfaith and Ecumenical Relations, has supported the government's request for religious leaders to present sensitive prophecies regarding the nation and its high-ranking officials for evaluation prior to their public disclosure. He describes the move as a positive and necessary step towards national stability. He emphasized that requiring religious leaders to submit prophecies of national importance for review promotes responsibility, unity, and proper stewardship, especially in times of uncertainty. Implications for national security to be managed with due responsibility.
The envoy clarified that the practice of testing or reviewing prophecies is not a novel idea, noting that established Christian communities already engage in discernment to assess the authenticity and significance of such revelations. Every man of God, regarded as a prophet, possesses the right to prophesy on any subject they wish. There is no issue with that, he stated. However, when it pertains to the president, vice president, senior government officials, or involves serious security concerns, it should be formally communicated to my office for prompt review and necessary action. His remarks arise amidst an intensified public discourse following last week's helicopter crash that resulted in the deaths of 8 individuals. In the wake of this tragedy, social media has been inundated with videos and posts from individuals claiming to have predicted the event, raising questions regarding the government's ability to address prophecies that could incite fear or panic. Nevertheless, critics have voiced 2 primary concerns: the practicality of reviewing prophecies prior to their delivery and the potential for exploitation by fraudsters masquerading as prophets. Ghana has historically faced challenges with the rise of self-proclaimed prophets, some of whom have been revealed as con artists taking advantage of their followers for personal benefit. In response to these issues, Mr. Ifri-Yankra underscored that Ghana possesses more than enough credible spiritual leaders to assist in the discreet and professional evaluation of sensitive prophecies. He suggested that authentic prophets should be prepared to work discreetly to elucidate their messages and investigate potential interventions and pragmatic measures to safeguard both national security and the security of the Christian faith.
Any prophecy or spiritual insight of a national nature, especially those with implications for high-profile political leaders, governance, and national security or public stability, should be channeled through these means. And I use an example in another country just for people to get a context. Imagine tomorrow morning we wake up and there's a prophecy that some man of God comes up in the States and says that the Air Force One is going to crash. I am sure if you know that there will be some interesting developments, if you know what I mean. So there's a biblical basis for what we are doing too. If you go to 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 20 to 21, the Bible says, do not despise prophecies, but test all things. So it's biblical that you should not despise, don't just throw it away, but you weigh it and assess it, number one. Number two, the Bible says in 1 John 4:1 that we should test the spirits, and that not all spirits are of God. It's biblical. Number three, the Bible says in 1 Corinthians 6, verse 12, that all things are lawful, but not all things are beneficial permission. So you may see the vision, you may have the prophecy and all that, but is it the way you communicate it? Is it going to be in the national interest? Is it going to cause fear and panic? Is it going to cause consternation? For example, we are in a period of mourning now, and people are saying that, oh, this is just the beginning. Many, many people are going to die. It's as if it's like, you know, there's a problem somewhere. We must all be honest with ourselves. So this is an avenue for those who genuinely and sincerely really have seen things and they want to help, but they don't know how to go about it. A channel and an avenue has been created. There are seasoned men and women of God who understand these things, who are gifted, they wait and assess it. I can tell you, and that there are some of the people who have given those prophecies. They're already being engaged behind the scenes. I can't mention names. The Bible says that the spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets. I think it's in 1 Corinthians 12 or so. I'm not sure. Somebody can help me. But what it means is that when you're in a church, and when Paul was teaching, he said, you're in a church, somebody has seen a vision, somebody has a prophecy, somebody has a song. You must be able to control it. Otherwise, this person will be prophesying, this person will be singing, this person will be given a revelation or a vision. There will be chaos. So Paul says that the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. So you must, and it is biblical, again, the foundation is the Bible. You must have that self-control. God is not the author of confusion, 33, but of peace. For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. So we are just appealing to them. That for me, it hurts me a lot when people are lambasting pastors and prophets as if they are all charlatans and fools. It's not true. For every so-called one bad pastor, there are thousands and thousands of them that are doing great work. So I help and support missionary work. If you know what pastors are going through in our rural areas, in our rural communities, taking the gospel to the depths of this world is not a joke. So I will be the last people to condemn pastors and prophets. No, they are doing a great job under very difficult circumstances. But we must also not create the opportunity and avenue for people to unnecessarily lambast us. So we're saying that there has to be a certain order. We must exercise self-control. When you yourself, God has given all of us wisdom, realize that this prophecy, and again, using Air Force One as an example, I don't want to use Ghana because people have the tendency to misinterpret and misquote. I'm using Air Force One. You wake up and you say, Air Force One is going to crash. Believe me, many things are going to happen that day. So let's look at things from that perspective. It's not a big thing that when you see, you must say publicly. You can give a hint, okay? It's allowed. Let's use the wisdom. God is the source and author of wisdom. So the wisdom God has given us, let's use it and let's manage this situation, because unfortunately, what is happening is that this is rather denting the credibility of the church. That is the concern. This is rather denting the credibility. People don't even want to hear about pastors and prophets, and it's very painful. You don't want to hear, oh, just as if those people, they are all charlatans, So the thing that is meant to glorify God is rather now becoming a problem for all of us. So I am just appealing that it is in our collective interest as Christians. And we are not leaving out our Muslim brothers and all other things. But the reality is that it is mostly the Christian pastors and prophets who are on social media. So we are appealing to them. This is not to guard them. We are not giving warning. We are not giving police. Our statement is very clear. We are talking about collaboration and working together to achieve a common goal. That is our mandate. Right. We don't have the powers of arrest. We don't have the powers of force. They have their job to do. So I cannot speak for them. But I'm talking from our perspective. We want to collaborate more and ensure that we do things that will enhance national unity, peace, and stability.
So that was the voice of Elvis Efriye Ankra, who spoke earlier on Good Morning Ghana. Now, away from that, the Member of Parliament for Salaga South, Zuwaira Mohammed Ibrahim, has called for support for the families affected by the recent helicopter crash. And she noted that the Women's Caucus in Parliament will also contribute to efforts aimed at assisting the bereaved families. Meanwhile, Dr. Antoinette Tiwodako, the Deputy General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, has extended her heartfelt condolences and urged the public to refrain from sharing pictures and videos of the victims, emphasizing the need to respect the dignity and privacy of those affected. The both spoke on Good Morning Ghana.
All these people need to be reminded in our daily prayers. If you check the profile of the 8, arguably we can say that they are all young people. And so naturally they have young families. They have young wives and young children. We saw their wives, some of them. We saw some of the children. You asked a very legitimate question. This country is suddenly saddled with 8 widows. What are we going to do to ensure that these widows feel the love that the country has for them? That these widows don't feel that their husbands sacrificed for nothing. We have a duty to the family. We have a duty to the widows. We have a duty to the children. The Women Caucus in Parliament will have a meeting and devise a roadmap towards visiting. We've already joined the larger parliamentary caucus to visit almost all the homes. But we will have to, as women, make a distinction and visit these widows and console them, find out what the situation presents, especially for the children.
I've always been very passionate about volunteerism, and the fact that volunteers are our first-time responders whenever there's an accident. And a crash like this, you had volunteers going first of all to the side. Volunteers because they weren't charged with any responsibility or anything, but they went there first. How much education do we have as first-time responders when it comes to dealing with things that could have been evidence or very important information, especially not knowing what caused the crash? We saw a lot of people walking around at the site and etc. There was no precaution, there was nothing. At the same time, supposing that the accident itself, there had been some survivors, did we have volunteers who even had the ability or, capacity to be able to even say that they could have saved their life? Would they have been able to do anything about that? So for me, it brought a lot of questions to mind that we still have not taken volunteering as a very serious aspect of running our nation.
We're staying with the aftermath of the helicopter crash, but now to the Volta region, where the Regional Coordinating Council, led by its Minister Honorable James Gunu, has organized a solemn vigil in memory of the victims of the tragic military helicopter crash that claimed the lives of Defense Minister Dr. Mani Buama, Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, and 6 other national heroes. The event themed Ghana Mourns, Volta Grieves, aimed to honor and recognize the invaluable contributions of these gallant individuals who met their untimely deaths in the line of duty.
Dr. Mani Buama, in particular, was our National Election Director and IT Director, whom we have worked closely with in the last elections. He brought his medical expertise and experience to bear on our electoral architecture and try to demystify the perception or the rumors that NDC did not collate its election in 2020. Doc was able to diagnose our electoral architecture and found solutions, and in 2024 elections, we collated our result timelessly, and today we are in power.
We will move forward. We will get there where we want to reach. Whatever plans the leadership of this country, the president of this country, have for this country, we will reach there. No matter what happens, Ghana will move forward. There is hope for us in Jesus. Jesus revived the hope of the disciples when they became very sad about
Today, our hearts ache with a grief too deep for words. These heroes were not just leaders and protectors. They were fathers, they were brothers, they were colleagues and friends. Their unwavering dedication shaped our nation, and their absence leaves a void we can never fill. In this moment of sorrow, we remember their sacrifices. Service to Ghana is a noble calling, one that demands courage, selflessness, and sometimes the ultimate price. May their legacy ignite in us a renewed love for our country, a commitment to unity, and an unyielding resolve to uphold the peace and progress they fought for.
One of the major things that confront us as a nation today is the Galamsey, the menace of Galamsey. And it is sad that we have to pour blood or people must lose their lives. And yet, the irresponsible mining will still continue. If ever you have a conscience, if ever you ever think of anything good for this country, if ever you have children, if ever you live your life in this country, and you still do irresponsible mining, it's a shame on you. People paid with the highest price, that is their life. And treat all of us here to continue to pray for this country. Whilst we pray for the country, we must remember that discipline, commitment to duty, upholding truth, it's something that must go with us.
Honorable Dr. Murtala Mohammed is an icon in Parliament for the NDC because he's a store of knowledge when it comes to the history of Ghana. And he has researched into the the history of Ghana very well. And anytime he's talking, you realize that he has facts and figures and he speaks to them. And he handles them fluidly. So we always enjoy his discourse in Parliament. So we'll be missing such a great mind in Parliament. I would say that the families should take heart. God knows the best. And sometimes it sounds a bit awkward when we say God knows the best. Somebody will tell you, the best is when you say God knows the best. But if you believe in the good books, that in all things you should thank God. So on this day we should be able to thank God for what has happened. We shouldn't question him because he's the author of life.
And that was the vigil that was held by the Volta Regional Coordinating Council and our Volta Regional correspondent Gabriel Asempa coming through with that report. Now, a solemn burial ceremony was held on Sunday, August 10, for the 2 Muslim victims of the helicopter crash that took place on August, says the former Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, Dr. Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed, and former Acting Deputy National Security Coordinator Alhaji Muniru Lemuna Mohammed died en route to the launch of the Responsible Cooperative Mining and Skills Development Program in Obuasi to address illegal mining. Now, the burial, which took place at the forecourt of the State House, brought together a host of high-profile dignitaries, including President Mahama, the Vice President, the Speaker of Parliament, the National Chair of the National Democratic Congress, and the National Chief Imam. Also on this particular incident, the Media Coalition for Development in Adanse has condemned what it terms unsavory public comments that have been made regarding the youth and farmers who selflessly assisted in the recovery and evacuation process of the 8 gallant men who lost their lives in the helicopter crash on Wednesday, August 6th. They are calling on all well-meaning Ghanaians to desist from such unwarranted comments. There's more in this report.
In a statement dated August 10, 2025, and signed by Chairman of the Media Coalition for Development in Adanse, Robert Anochijemfi, the group expressed deep sadness by the tragic death of the 8 public officials, including Ministers of State, Honorable Samuel Abuaje, a proud son of Adanse, and other military crew members who lost their lives in the helicopter crash at Adanse Bofuyedru, near Krofum in the Ashanti region. They extended their deepest sympathies to the state, families, and loved ones greatly affected by this unfortunate incident. The coalition, on the other hand, has also expressed strong condemnation for the description of the young individuals who helped retrieve the bodies as villagers and thieves. According to them, this description is not only unjust but also ungrateful. The statement further noted that the youth of Adanse and surrounding communities demonstrated remarkable courage, compassion, and patriotism in the face of tragedy. They acted out of good faith and love for their country and humanity, and their efforts were instrumental in the recovery process. Hence, their contributions should at least be acknowledged, if not rewarded, for their selflessness during this period. The Media Coalition has therefore urged all well-meaning Ghanaians to join in condemning such unwarranted comments and to appreciate the efforts of these young individuals who demonstrated remarkable humanity in the face of tragedy.
Away from that, let's talk health. And the Ghana Health Service says the country has confirmed 18 new monkeypox cases, raising the country's total recorded cases to 346 as at August 7th.
As of August 7th, Ghana records 18 new monkeypox cases, raising its total number to 346 with 1 death recorded. According to institutional reports by the Ghana Health Service on August 9, there are no patients currently on admission, with the death toll still remains unchanged. The mpox virus is characterized by symptoms such as fever, headache, swollen glands, muscle aches, swollen lymph nodes, exhaustion, and distinctive rash. In its latest update, the Ghana Health Service has urged the public to stay vigilant, avoid close contact with individuals showing symptoms of the virus, and also urgently report suspected cases to the nearest health facility. The Ghana Health Service says it is working closely with its regional directorates to trace any contact and organize a national response to contain the outbreak.
That's our wrap up of the news update this afternoon. Thanks for watching. For more news, log on to our website, www.metrotvonline.com. Back to Annie Fampopo for the rest of the program. And I was going to ask her at this point, Annie, if you see a vision, the Lord reveals something to you, you've got to send an email.
Come on.
But that is it for now, right? So you cannot tell us that, because a lot of times the prophets, some of them are, oh, we try reaching government, we didn't get them and all of that. So now you don't need to do that. There's an email and there's a WhatsApp message, a number that you can send your prophecies to. And so at that point, I'm sure after being reviewed, it'll get to the corridors of power and it can be worked on. So, Annie,
like a lot is going on in my head now because things of the spirits, it's quite difficult to manage.
I get that.
Yeah, to try to control.
Yeah.
To be honest, having spoken with the officer Free Ankara, I get the attempt to try to streamline these things, but at the same time, I think there should be a bit of some flexibility. I'm not one that dismisses spiritual things.
Yeah.
I don't. So you never hear me attack any pastor, fake or not. It's not even in my place to determine who is fake or who is what. But it's also very irresponsible for a nation to solely always be depending on pastors instead of using our brains, to create things. It comes from the same God, the energy we have, the thinking faculty we have. They all come from the same God, as if you believe in God, right? So I think we just have to use it as it has been gifted to us. Yeah. However, we can't also dismiss the things of the Spirit, whether you believe it or you don't believe it. That is a rampage, painful truth. I'm just wondering how these pastors are going to be able to manage.
They have to
documenting their prophecies, just to streamline, like according to how the government office, communicable office has been established. So
again, if you have a vision like that, it comes to wisdom with how you're going to put it out. So I believe that is supposed to be done, but people have also raised questions about the other religions, as we have traditional, African traditional religion and the Islamic religion. I'm sure they are, because it says religious affairs, right? So I'm sure they can all get to the office. And
I sought to ask about the Islamic religion, if they believe in prophecies, this morning from Honorable Zurira, who told me, and actually told me a story about the Prophet Muhammad.
Okay.
You know, the confusion of him being called Prophet Muhammad, but they don't believe in prophecies. They believe in one of the pillars of Islam is almsgiving. So they believe in almsgiving, which is possibly going to overturn negativity that may befall you. But they don't give prophecies, they don't give prophecies. So that is for the Islamic religion. And when it comes to the other one is called what?
The African traditional religion.
The traditional religion. Remember that the traditional leaders of the place that crash happened.
Adansi.
Yes. They poured libation, right? They poured libation. By our constitution of the country, we allow for every religion. Every association is allowed. So they also poured libation such that if the owners of the land are angry with us, they will forgive us. In fact, I think God is angry with us. I think so.
Okay. Annie, over to you.
Yes, because he has given us a land. And just imagine what we've done to the land.
What we're doing with it anyway. Annie,
thank you.
Thanks for having me.
You're pricking my mind this afternoon, but thank you. Let's take a breather. I'll be back shortly.
Whether you're a wholesaler, retailer, or consumer, MNC Logistics and Trading is your trusted partner in minerals and food commodities trading. Experience the difference with MNC Logistics and Trading for your commodities trading. We operate a well-equipped laboratory that smelts and assays gold to ensure transparent, credible, and reliable minerals transactions. Our general food commodity market deals with imports and exports of food products such as rice, sugar, and grains. We pride ourselves on delivering products that meet the highest standards of quality and taste. With our expertise in international trading and logistics, we bridge customers far and wide. Locate us at number 4 Neosai Interfo Avenue, East Legon, Accra. Call us on 030-299-8246 or visit our website www.mnclogisticsandtrading.com. MNC Logistics and Trading, hub of confidence.
I'm here at Mycom JA Limited to show you the Promethean Active Panel, the ultimate tool for corporate institutions, hospitals, schools, and your home. With its crystal clear 4K display and an unbreakable screen with an ultra responsive touch technology, this isn't just a screen, it's a game changer. For corporate institutions and in schools, this active panel can be used for Zoom meetings and PowerPoint presentation. And oh, your homes are not left behind. You can use it to watch all your favorite programs by just connecting to a Fire Stick, and you can get access to channels like Netflix and Amazon, and voila, you are in there. At Mycom JA Limited, we provide you with the best quality products from the United States of America with 1-year warranty. You can get an active panel at a discounted price of 18,000 Ghana cedi only, and it comes with a Fire Stick, a webcam, and a microsystem. You can locate us at Chado Container behind the Trade Fair. Visit Mycom JA Limited today and elevate your tech.
Some loves are born in the blink of an eye, and they kill your soul in a flash. Televisa presents You Are the One. Angela dreams of keeping her promise to be a great doctor and help her people. To Alvaro, ambition is stronger than his dream, and this greed will lead him to commit the worst betrayal to the woman he loves, turning all her dreams into painful disappointments and dangerous consequences.
Llevo horas esperando que me contestes, Álvaro. No he sabido nada de ti, te mandé muchos mensajes y no me contestas.
Ya te saliste de la terminal.
Tal de pagar y poderme salir de esto.
Con estas fotos vamos a vender muy, pero muy bien a nuestra minita de oro.
¿Estás novio? ¿Estás bien?
We gather tonight under a cloud of shared grief, our hearts heavy with the profound sorrow that has gripped our nation. The news of the helicopter crash at Adansiakro Foam, which tragically claimed the lives of 8 of our beloved citizens, all of whom were proudly serving our great nation, has shattered us to the core. What compounds our collective grief and shock as a nation the sudden, unpredictable, and violent nature of their passing. Culturally, we've become used to preparing for the loss of loved ones, even in brief illnesses. Yet in this increasingly complex and fast-moving world, we're sometimes faced with such sudden bereavement, forcing us to confront how fragile and how fleeting life really is. Here today, gone tomorrow. There were only a few days ago vibrant lives, each dedicated to a singular cause, the betterment of our country. I want to honor those lives that were lived in full with unwavering passion and a commitment right up until they took their final breath. Let us therefore transform this profound sorrow into a catalyst for action. Let us honor their memories not just with tears, but with renewed dedication to the very ideals that they lived and died for. May the souls of our comrades and colleagues rest in perfect peace. May God bless their families and all who knew and loved them. And may God continue to bless our beloved homeland, Ghana.
Sadly welcome you to the laying of flowers and lighting candles of our fallen compatriots who died in the service of the nation. At this juncture, may I invite Squadron Leader Richard Asiedu Patterson to give us the opening prayer, the Christian prayer. It will be followed by a Muslim prayer by Alhaji Moro Sanda.
Please let us pray. In the tender compassion of our God, the dawn of a new day will fall on us. We recognize all that you have been to us and you have done for us. You are our Lord and our God. In critical times, we call upon you. In peaceful times, we still call upon you. At this moment, we ask you for grace. We ask you for enablement. We ask you for endurance. We ask you for consolation. We ask you for comfort. May every step, every thought, every word, every activity, every event be part of this comforting moment. May we strengthen each other, and may we find peace in every act we perform. May your grace that is sufficient superintend over every aspect of this ceremony, and may it bring warmth to the nation and to families. Let your gracious presence see us through. In the name of our Lord. Amen.
Please let us pray. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا صراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Amen. May our soul rest in perfect peace. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. We'll now take the last post. May the soul of our departed fellows rest in perfect peace. Amen. The Reverend, please.
Welcome back to the programs. Good afternoon, Ghana. Let's go on to Zoom and try and engage Adams Bona, who's a security analyst. He's also in charge of the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons. Adam Bona, thank you for your time, and good afternoon to you. Hello, sir. Hello.
Thank you very much. We now move to the laying of flowers in memory of our fallen comrades. First to do that will be His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana.
Okay, let's try Mr. Adams Bona again. Mr. Bona, thank you for your time, and thanks for making time with us here also on Good Afternoon, Ghana. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Hello. Hello, Mr. Adams Bona. Good afternoon. Okay, I think he obviously cannot hear me, so let's try and see if we can hear him again. Mr. Adams Bona, good afternoon. All right, producers, can you please work around it and help us understand exactly what's going on? But in the meantime, let me pick a release that has just come from the Office of the President as the producers work around it, and it says a national call for tributes honoring the departed 8. And that the statement is actually signed by the spokesperson for the President, Minister of Government Communication, Felix Fusukwachi. And it says, as in the wake of the profound sorrow following the tragic helicopter crash on 6th of August 2025, the Funeral Planning Committee extends a solemn invitation to all individuals, institutions, and the public to come together in remembrance of and honor of the lives of those we so sadly lost. As we prepare to bid farewell to our fallen compatriots, members of the public are encouraged to send messages of condolences and heartfelt tributes for inclusion in the official brochure. So, and I'm so happy about this because this was mentioned on Good Morning Ghana earlier today by the guest who actually suggested that if we put this on a brochure, in a brochure, it will be interesting, you know, to safeguard the memory of these gallant soldiers we lost. And it is just interesting that coincidentally we have this, release coming out this afternoon. So the statement continued to read, it says, please submit your tributes to or via email, tributes@presidency.gov.gh, and deadline for submission is Wednesday, August 13, 2025, at 12 p.m. or 12 noon GMT. State funeral details, A state funeral will be held in honor or to honor the victims on Friday, the 15th of August, 2025 at Black Star Square, commencing at 8 a.m. So may the courage, dedication, and spirit inspire us all to continue striving for a stronger, more united, and prosperous Ghana. Signed, Felix Kwachi of Fosu, spokesperson to President and Minister of Government Communication. So that's the latest release that actually came. Let's try Mr. Bona once again. Adams Bona, am I audible now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, sir? Okay, it's a bit of the struggle. So let's go through the journey of the funeral, and then we'll see if we can have Adams Bona once again. All right, we'll try once again. A bit frustrating, but let's see, how it will go. Adams, am I audible now, at least for now?
You are, it's so faint, I cannot hear anything.
I'll try once again. Is it okay now? Can you hear me? Hello, sir. Hello. Hello, Mr. Bona. Right. I guess this is going to be highly impossible. Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Right. It's just a bit of a struggle. Pardon us. I know you're rushing into a meeting. So we've gone through, everything that has happened. And with your security in sight, how do you think Ghana has fared so far after this, sad tragedy?
Well, if you ask me, I would say we haven't fared very bad. I say we haven't fared very bad because one of the first respondents to the location was the one in charge of RECSEC in the region. The one in charge of RECSEC, he is in charge of the Regional Security Council. And so it is gratifying to know that he is one of the first respondents who got there and quickly helped to pick up what needed to be picked and also inform the people in the community, those who have picked up debris or those who have picked up, parts of the aircraft that came down to return them. And also he helped in the recovery of the remains of our colleagues who perished in that gory, 6, disaster recently. Mm-hmm. And so I said we haven't fared very bad, even though it could have been better. It could have been better in the sense that the community got to the scene and some community members picked up items that probably they shouldn't have gone with them. They should have left them. But I think that a lot of sensitization and education will have to go into
situations like this for people who get to these sins. There is one cannot always say that those who are properly trained would be the first respondents to a disaster scene like this. Usually, community members or passerbyers, those who are around, would get there. But when they get there, they need some, these should be people who know the do's and don'ts when they get to a scene like this, what to touch and what not to touch. But you notice that they started moving items out of the location. And so if a part of the aircraft probably got blown out and it landed, let's say, 4, 5, 6 kilometers away, accident investigators would have to do some calculation to be able to tell what form of impact would send a debris from the epicenter to 6 kilometers away. All these things would inform the report that would eventually be submitted. But once these things are tampered with, it becomes very difficult to put the pieces together, but not impossible. It is going to be difficult, but I won't say it's impossible. A lot of education. I am aware that the NADMO, the National Disaster Relief Organization of the country, the foremost organization, is supposed to undergo, under this government, a retooling that would make it, a fit-for-purpose organization. For now, what we have done in the past was not to tool it, but I know there is efforts in place, per even the announcement of His Excellency, the President, that 1 billion is supposed to go into the retooling of agencies such as NADMO, including my agency and the other security agencies. So I would say, by and large, the fact that we have the regional minister got there as one of the first respondents. I think that was very good on our part as a people and as a government. So not too bad, but some of the people actually decided to take items that were not supposed to take away from where it's supposed to have been. Because then when you get to a scene like this, whether it is a lorry accident or a motorbike accident, you would see police officers, the MTTD officers. Let's assume this was a lorry accident. You will see them attempting to measure. It helps them to recreate a certain scene when they are reporting, to know how this happened and whose fault is this. Was this caused by natural disaster? What happened? But for them to move them, they make the labeling and in fact recreating what would have happened somehow very difficult, but not impossible.
Yes, but I mean, I know that, with the simulation exercise, when we asked, last week I did a couple of interviews and I asked about tampering with evidence. And I remember I was told that it's not too late to still, cordon off the place, and if there is a necessity for simulation, it will be done, and stuff like that. So is it, maybe from your angle, how do you see it? If they still want to do any exercise like recreate what happened, is that possible? Yes. With all the tampering?
It is possible. It is possible because it's never too late in accidents. I'm not an aviation expert, but it is never too late to cordon off a place that, the epicenter of a certain accident or a certain incident. And so, yes, the cordon off definitely can still take place, should have taken place, and has taken place. And therefore, those who know what they are looking for would have been there and would have picked up what is expected of them, and then picked up everything. And then they then begin the recreation or the simulation exercise to know at what height did the disaster happen. Did it happen where the inferno took place? Or the inferno started happening at what height, above the trees? Yeah. Did they hit a tree? Was it the where the fuel is that hit the tree? Because then we know that wallets belonging to some of our fallen comrades, may their soul rest in peace, were blown off Was it blown off mid-air, or was blown off during the impact when it touched the ground?
Yeah.
And these wallets were not bent. We are aware of a watch, a Rick's watch, that actually, what do you call it, was shown on TV by one of the respondents to the scene, that he has a wristwatch that he picked from the scene. I'm told he's returned it. But at what distance? If you are measuring from the epicenter, what is the distance between where he picked it and where the final drop was? All these things are important to help figure out, scientifically, how much impact would you need, at what height, and you know that it's a wooded area, and therefore if this is to drop, and assuming, I'm not saying that is what happened, there's an explosion. The explosion sent debris, including wallets and wristwatches and whatever, to that distance, or this happened mid-air. All these things would help accident scene, those who are doing the investigation, to recreate and know that, okay, what happened mid-air, or it happened during the impact. Because at the moment, the speculation is part of the healing, if you ask me. We are all grieving, and so everybody seems to be talking. But from a professional point of view, I would say that the first respondents, in fact, the community members who got there, they did their best to help recover the remains of our fallen comrades. But there are others who also got there, and they were picking things that they shouldn't have picked. They shouldn't have tagged anything. This is the education we need to give to our, our kinsmen. We need to give to our chiefs. We need to give to those who must know, our children, and everyone who needs to know. It's important we train people with regards to when disasters happen. What do I do when I get there? But I think it's going to take a lot for us to get there. But I am pleased to say that for the fact that we had one of the first respondents being the Ashanti regional minister himself, and he was part of the people who recovered the remains of our comrades, so our heroes, I would say it's good. I won't say we didn't score well. We scored well. The only thing is the community. But I am not surprised, because then accident happens on our roads, and others get there to rescue people. Sometimes they don't even know how to do it properly. They get there, and others are there also trying to help themselves and putting their hands into the hands of people who unfortunately would have passed on to take whatever they are carrying. And this is not good for us as a people. So for me, Annie, I would say that it's not late for calling no. Because then sometimes you need just a tiny item, a tiny drop from the aircraft, or something might have touched the aircraft mid-air. What touched it? What happened? All these things, because our military, we have a first-class military. If you travel out, you get to know how our military is cherished, how our security, architecture is cherished out there. And so mine is that, yes, it's happened, but we cannot play down and say that, our military is not good. It is. At a point, certain things happen, I'm sure. It's all part of the restructuring and the reset the president has started, and we need to support the president for the ultimate reset agenda. This is definitely not going to derail the reset agenda, but mine is that we need to let our citizens know that disasters would happen, but how we help the state to manage disasters is very important. And so all of us will rally around. Yourself, the media, all of us should get involved and educate our people. When you get to an accident scene, don't start picking things. Don't start picking things. If those things are not an obstruction to maybe oncoming vehicles, even if it is to stop the oncoming vehicles, to stop, tell them to stop, because you need MTTD to get there and do their work. These are some of the things we need to do, if you ask me.
Mr. Bona, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
So I'm asking this question in terms of safety. As I'm speaking to you minutes ago, we have received news of another emergency landing of a chopper again, somewhere in Enoko. We're yet to speak with our reporter there, and we're speaking we're talking about safety situations and what we have to learn from what just happened. What exactly do you think is happening to the military? I know you're measured when you're speaking about military, but most of us, including myself, are not happy with the way they seem to be managing things.
You see, Annie, yes, I am measured because in trying times like this, we need to be very measured and cautious what we put out. And I say this because, you see, these people who died are good people who died in line of duty. Could have been any of us, being sent. You can't say the president has called you that I need you to go with this delegation there, and you say you will not go. Even if you were an ordinary, you were not an appointee of government, and you, Annie, you will receive a call from the president that, Annie, I would need you to go with this team. I would need yourself. You'll be privileged to be invited by the president to go and cover an event, that event, and he wants you to be in that chopper. You will. If the communication minister was to call you, you will do that, except if you are sick. You have a genuine reason for your inability to do. There's a reason why we need to be measured.
At this point,
mine is that people are not happy.
So at this point, with the information I have, at this point, even if I'm directed by the president to go on an assignment and I'm supposed to use a chopper, I will not go. Because we have also, by what we do, taken our time to learn a little bit about helicopters and how the weather currently is not good for its flying. We've seen the chronology of happenings leading to this crash. And as we speak, there's another emergency landing. What is it with just using the chopper, knowing very well that the current weather condition is not so favorable, therefore risks is increased?
Well, you see, I'm not an aviation expert, but I can tell you confidently that I have studied security and I've studied safety, and portion of it would be aspect of this. But what I can say is that I have flown in a military chopper, pitch darkness, pitch black. I was in the between Boku and Tamale, the Air Force base in Tamale, between Boku and Tamale. We left Boku around 8 p.m. 2023. I was in that aircraft. The then Minister of Interior was there, the then IGP was there, the then CDS was there, the then Defense Minister was in that aircraft. We flew in that aircraft around 8 p.m. in the night. And when you look down, you don't see anything apart from just darkness. We flew from that point in Boku, the 11th Mechanized team in their base in Boku, to Tamale. So what I can say is that yes, the weather would have impacted this, but let's not be quick to just probably blame just the weather. Let's not be quick. There could be different angles to this. I have picked up some information, but you see, the truth is that I would want to wait for the investigators who are trained in aviation accident scene and recreating to come up with a story that looks more probable. Because whatever I share, I would be sharing something that would rather fuel the confusion. Yes, an aircraft has crash landed in the Kweu area. I've seen it online. But mine is that, yes, the weather is not good. Do we say that because of that, when you go to Takoradi, between the Takoradi Air Force Base or the Takoradi Airport and our rigs, because they take them from the airport base, the Air Force Base or the airport in Takoradi onto the oil rigs. If we are not careful and we say every chopper should be grounded, I don't know how that is. I'm not an aviation expert, but mine is that someone would have to do a review to look at this. But mine is we need to be a bit careful to say that this accident happened solely because of the weather. I want to shy away from that, because then I'm telling you that I flew with some of our security couples in 2023 between Boku and Tamale, and we left Boku pitch I mean, it was dark. You don't see anything. And these pilots, you know, shepherd, they flew us to Tamale. We landed safely. There was nothing. But if during the day you have an aircraft go up in the air and something happens. I mean, listen, Annie, 5 kilometers, 4 or 5 kilometers. That is how far some of your reporters said when they were going. They saw debris being blown from the aircraft. It tells us that we need to be patient and wait for the investigators to tell us what hit the aircraft. Is it the aircraft, something that didn't work well, you know, exploding in the aircraft, or something might have happened to the aircraft and it came down, and what happened? Because then some of our comrades, we are told, in fact, it's not well. I mean, if you ask me, listen, Annie, we need to be very circumspect when we are talking about this, because it's not good for us as a nation. Let's be very circumspect and rather spend time educating the populace. Because this aircraft that crash landed, you saw a lot of people surrounded.
Yeah.
A lot of people surrounding it. And mine is that, should you run to an aircraft that has just landed, done an emergency landing, instead of running away, do you run there? Because then,
Mr.
if
Bona,
you run there and something happens, what do you do?
So let's really spare the volunteers. I'll call them, and I'm terming volunteers those who helped in gathering the remains of our fallen soldiers. That's because they helped the minister who went there to gather and all that, so that they don't feel that we are not appreciative of the effort they put in. But in everything, there is leadership. And for a people that lacks the knowledge in tragedies of this nature, I don't think there's so much for them to be blamed, because we didn't teach them, not in a classroom, not at home, not by NCCE or any other body. They just are ordinary people who want to help. In any case, when they got to the scene to sort of try and search for the scattered bodies, they could have been given assistance with gloves, safety gears. Nobody helped. They only offered what they had. So we, as leaders are supposed to be blamed. As a matter of fact, the accident happened on Wednesday. As late as 9th August 2025, it's when a release was given to us by the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council, trying to retrieve items from the crash site. And this was after most of us had been on social media calling for people to stop picking items from the crash scene, you know, and reach out to leaders so that the place will be cordoned off for authorities to do what is expected of them. The people simply, for want of a better expression, lack the knowledge of how to manage an accident scene. We've seen people trying to help accident victims on the roads, and we've seen how they handle their bodies. For the longest of time, we lack the knowledge. So can you blame us?
No, Annie, I don't think anybody is being blamed. I'm sure you were, an adult when September 11th happened. The almighty America watched on, unfortunately, when the Twin Towers were brought down. And in the midst of it, the communication network amongst the interagencies got jammed up. No one could be contacted. Things just went haywire. And that actually even fueled when the first tower was hit. The second tower probably maybe could have been prevented. And so mine is that, you see, this is not the time for us to blame anybody. I don't think, my colleagues in the Ashanti region who issued the release that return whatever you have. I'm sure if these items were retained quickly, and the belief was that everything had been returned, this wouldn't have come. And so mine is, I haven't seen anything officially blaming anyone for picking a debris or, a boat or not or something from the site. Yes, people haven't been trained. But, Annie, let's be honest with ourselves. If this disaster, touch wood, was to happen somewhere, a remote area in America, if this was to happen in a remote area in Canada, I'm telling you that the same thing you are seeing here is likely to happen. We've seen it. We've seen it in a lot of disasters. The only thing we need to do is to continually teach and sensitize people when it happens, what you must do and don'ts. Don't pick items. Our side is, when in this part of the world, people started picking items away. Which I will say that we need to concentrate on making people know that you didn't have to pick the items away. They did. And officially, government has released a message saying that return the item, which is very good officially. And even to the extent that those who might have picked something, I am told, even though I haven't confirmed it, that when you bring it, you are given something to buy cocoa. So people will bring them. And they now see that these are not souvenirs you want to take home. This disaster scene, bring them. And people are returning them, I'm told. And so I haven't seen, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone blaming those who got there. This could have happened somewhere in Scotland, anywhere in the world. And the first respondents who get there will probably do even worse than our people have done. We can educate our people. We need to, which we have to. And so let's not blame ourselves too much for what happened. What I can say is that we need to continuously using media houses like yours and mediums such as social media and the rest to continuously let our people know that when you get into a sin like that, these are the do's and don'ts. Don't pick things around. Don't move things around. If you have to pick human beings, this is what you do. I think it's something that should be progressive. So I don't know, but maybe we are all sad, and therefore I haven't paid too much attention to some of the things with regards to someone blaming them. No one has blamed them. The only thing is that
the Ashanti Regional, the Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amakwene, has written something on the social media platform. He says that thanks to the community youth, significant parts of the aircraft and other belongings have been returned. Still expecting more by close of day. Okay, so it's on the screen.
That's good enough.
So Mr. Bona, but the question I have is, how can we explain away the slow response time of the military even after the crash was confirmed?
See, Annie.
Yes.
From the security perspective and safety perspective, I tell you what. 9/11, most of the people who got there, most of the people who died were not in the Twin Towers. Most of the people who died were not in the Twin Towers as at the time the planes crashed into them. There were people who, instead of running away, ran to the disaster scene, and it happened, and most of them died. And so mine is that the military, I don't speak for the military. I don't speak for I'm only speaking out of what I know.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that you have to plan. Look at where the thing took place. From yourselves, the media. We are told that it will take you 2-3 hours to walk to the epic center. The military would have to get there. But remember that the military would have been coming from far away. And no one, you see, you would prepare. It doesn't matter how much preparation you put in place. Disasters would happen. When they happen, how you respond is important. I would say that, yes, we could have done better than we have done. But you see, let's not blame ourselves and say that we are blaming this. I'm happy that Ashanti Regional Minister is in the thick of it and he's actually speaking. He's not speaking down the people. He's encouraging them to bring it. And I am adding my voice that anyone who has anything he's picked or she's picked, bring it. And let's try to investigate this. And I'm telling you, listen, disasters have happened. Not today, have happened, not Ghana alone, but I don't want to concentrate on, but I will use 9/11. This incident that happened, I tell you, it will take forever. You would remember where you were when you got the news, just like 9/11. I remember where I was when 9/11 happened. And so it tells you that the magnitude, the impact on all of us is something you can't explain. But in the midst of it, we don't need to blame ourselves. It's happened. We've lost very, seasoned heroes in this country. Soldiers have died. Ghanaians are not happy. Could have happened to anybody. Let's not throw our hands in the air in despair and begin to blame one another, because when these things happen and you begin to blame one another, you are never going to find a solution to stopping another one that will happen. So Annie, I would plead.
Okay, to be fair to everybody sharing opinions on this, I don't think it's a blame game. I think it's more of an institution giving a responsibility to protect us. So if something goes wrong and people do not understand, they have a right to question. That, I think that's exactly what's happening now.
Which is good.
Right. So now I just want you to help us, maybe before I let you go. Institutions do have their response policies, like NADMO, like the police, like the military, all scattered. But do you think that we've questioned the issue of DNA, testing, and some of these testing that we decided to take to South Africa to go and check how we are faring?
I can hardly hear you. It's so faint.
Okay, but now
I'm struggling to hear you.
Okay, is it okay now? Can you hear me
okay
now?
So if you can repeat everything you said, I'll be grateful.
Yes. So I was asking about us flying our bodies to South Africa to go and do forensic testing, which I know those who are in that field have told us that in Ghana we don't have the capacity, but we can establish a policy to institute a National Forensic Agency Authority. Now, do you think that there's a necessity to also establish something about disaster response agency, something like that is national? Can we do anything of that nature? We advise that.
We already have NADMO. I am aware that NADMO is one of the biggest agenda of His Excellency, the President of the Republic. NADMO is one of the areas that the President spoke fondly. If you listen to him during his campaigns, you listen to some publications, is one of the areas he wants to reach to. In the midst of it, I would urge that we need to be very circumspect, not to begin to create too many, organizations that will come in, do the same thing that Mo is doing. The resources, I know there's some resource allocation, and I've known this for some time, that's supposed to go to NADMO. Let's make NADMO move from what they are doing to be a paramilitary organization. If you go to the US, they have them. You go to various countries, they have them. NADMO should move from, and I believe it's the risk, I know there's supposed to be a law that's supposed to be tweaking this. And there's supposed to be some resource that's supposed to come. I am aware of some resource that, in fact, was supposed to come some time ago, but they said until NADMO becomes that paramilitary something we want, it won't come. Once we get NADMO to be able to do this, you see, it is easy because NADMO is everywhere the military is not. And so NADMO would have gone to this area because they would have all the tools to get there. And so I wouldn't call for another authority to be created.
Right.
I think the President, His Excellency, and his cabinet already has got something in the works that's supposed to come. And so mine is that let's allow investigations to continue. And these bodies that were sent, I checked from seasoned surgeons in this country, and they said we have the mechanism to do it in this country. The only thing is that it looks like it's not something we frequently do, and so the agents, the anti-agents, or the tools they need to do it quickly would take some time. And therefore, they need a few things to add on to this to be able to do, what you are expecting. Medically, I'm not too sure of the names. And so you see already they took them just a few days ago and they are back. Maybe it would have taken a week before, maybe if we have to do, or 2 weeks before it's done. But I'm told we have the capacity. But there are a few things that we needed to add up. I think that strengthening us in this capacity in this country, and we know the President is good at strengthening capacity when these things happen, he uses it as a launching pad to make us become better. You know how UGMC and the rest came to existence. You go to other countries in the sub-region, you'll be amazed that they have nothing. So we have done better. Let's continue to support those who are trying to get this done, so that in the end, Annie, we don't end up, probably talking more than we expect His Excellency the President to lead us to do. That is what I would urge that we do.
Right. Right, I'll let you go. Just give us a few words on the black box that's been found. What do we stand to achieve with the found of that box and how it can contribute to the investigation currently ongoing?
Oh, it will help immensely, especially when there are no eyewitnesses. So far, no one, I haven't seen a picture of the last moment of the aircraft with either it exploded mid-air or when the final impact. I haven't seen, I've just seen some AI images that are not real, but the eyewitnesses account would have helped us. But beside that, the black box and the voice recorder and all those ones, once they've retrieved this box, what happens is that they would go into it. It is going to help. Were they in any form of distress? What was the conversation? What were they talking about? Was there an explosion? Was it a sudden explosion? Did he come from the rear? Where did he come from? And so this would usually put into the right perspectives what probably a lot of us, and so the black box is usually the go-to box or the go-to tool when aircraft, and this day and age, even vehicles are now beginning to, manufacturers are now beginning to put black boxes in a lot of high occupancy vehicles, and so it's the go-to equipment, if you ask me. And I'm expecting that by the time they decode everything that was captured, it will tell the investigators, at least it will add to whatever debris and whatever they picked. They did explode mid-air, because 4 or 5 kilometers of debris spreading, maybe 100-meter radius would have been me. I mean, this is my opinion. 100-meter radius would make some sense, but 5 kilometers, 4 kilometers, from what you newsmen have told us, if that is the truth, then a lot of questions, we'll have to ask a lot of questions and hope that the black box would help, the black box and investigators would help us to answer these questions, if you ask me, Annie.
So how about what we've just found out too? I'm sure you're going to, find more about the emergency landing in Enoko, what we've just seen, making rounds.
Yeah, I'll try. I only saw it, so I would ask, I'll get some information, and then if I do, and you reach out to me, I'm sure I would, as usual. I used to do this before I was appointed, so I won't shy away from it. I'll speak my mind. I'll let you know what I know, Annie.
Very grateful for that. Very, very grateful for that. Adam Bona is a security analyst, but he's also the executive secretary for the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons as well. So, he wears double hats, having worked with UN and other agencies as a security person. I'm sure that the production team has the video of what we've just received, the emergency landing of another chopper, we're told, in the area of Enoko, the mountains or the mountainous areas. So I guess, okay, so that's what you have in your screen or in the video there. I guess by now you all know, or you may have read about it, because some of us are now doing some search. We are not, helicopter experts or anything like that, but sometimes things like this happen and you have to read or learn a lot more. And what we know is that helicopters obviously don't do so well when the weather is in the situation as it is today. They can't fly about a certain level of Fahrenheit, and so I guess that's why we're seeing a lot of these things. So don't get too scared. Let's just hope that those who are in charge of this field will help advise, so we do not repeat mistakes that we probably seem to have committed. It's obvious that there's investigation going on, so maybe the military will help us understand exactly what happened from Genesis to Exodus. And then from there, we'll advise ourselves as a nation from that. In the meantime, we will definitely advise all of you to be safe wherever you are, either by vehicle, by airplanes, or by helicopters if you're going on board. Once you're in the sky, sometimes there's really very little you can do, or nothing. At least for cars, sometimes they dodge, they enter, the bushes, They go into waters. If you're lucky, you can swim and things like that. But in the air, it's a different matter altogether. So that's also another level of boldness if you're going and you won't check and make sure you're safe. You're also watching Good Afternoon Ghana, and on this note, I just want to say good afternoon to you, to your friend Bridget Bonnie. Good afternoon to you. Thank you for checking up on us as well. Let's take a breather. We'll be back.
Whether you're a wholesaler, retailer, or consumer, MNC Logistics and Trading is your trusted partner in minerals and food commodities trading. Experience the difference with MNC Logistics and Trading for your commodities trading. We operate a well-equipped laboratory that smelts and assays gold to ensure transparent, credible, and reliable minerals transactions. Our general food commodity market deals with imports and exports of food products such as rice, sugar, and grains. We pride ourselves on delivering products that meet the highest standards of quality and taste. With our expertise in international trading and logistics, we bridge customers far and wide. Locate us at number 4 Neosai Interfo Avenue, East Legon, Accra. Call us on 030-299-8246 or visit our website www.mnclogisticsandtrading.com. MNC Logistics and Trading, hub of confidence.
I'm a brand manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printing. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Hi, my name is Fred McBagon-Lurie, President of Academic City University in Accra, Ghana. Academic City is at the forefront of technology development. Here at Academic City, innovation and ingenuity blend seamlessly with innovation. We respect knowledge. Knowledge is power. And once Africans start to internalize knowledge, you see the level of development that we attain here. The Tycoon Africa Conference is a convergence of influencers and professionals from across the continent, folks that are interested in marketing and ICT. At this conference, you meet marketers from across the African divide, from Southern Africa, from Zimbabwe, from Kenya, from Uganda, and of course, from our beautiful country called Ghana. I will be speaking, and there will be many other professionals and experts who will be sharing the African experience in marketing and ICT. This is an opportunity you will not want to miss. At this conference, you will meet people working at the forefront of AI, ICT integration, using new tools and emerging technologies, marketers who are at the forefront of pushing this agenda, and more importantly, it will be an avenue for us to encounter policy.
We brought you the first 2 conferences, which were awesome. Great leadership ideas shared. On popular request, the third in the series of Women in Strategic Leadership Conference, put together by ASWAM and Tarragon, comes off on September 24 to 27 at the Plash Camp Chache Resort. Adan, come, engage with astute women with great leadership ideas and skills on the conference theme, Women at the Helm, driving strategic change. On the bill for this special conference are outstanding women such as Genevieve Pearl Duncan Ubobi, banker, trainer, SME consultant, speaker and author. Miss AC Mills Robertson, Director of Inclusive Banking at Fidelity Bank Ghana, and Mrs. Augustina Atkinson Dadebo, Counseling Psychologist and Assistant Registrar, UPSA. Do call 059-205-2286 or 024-403-5731. Come and let's advance women in leadership while creating a supportive community as well as empower women in leadership.
Some loves are born in the blink of an eye, and they kill your soul in a flash. Televisa presents You Are the One. Angela dreams of keeping her promise to be a great doctor and help her people. To Alvaro, ambition is stronger than his dream, and this greed will lead him to commit the worst betrayal to the woman he loves, turning all her dreams into painful disappointments and dangerous consequences.
Llevo horas esperando que me contestes, Álvaro. No he sabido nada de ti, te mandé muchos mensajes y no me contestas.
Ya te saliste de la terminal.
Tal de pagar y poderme salir de esto.
Con estas fotos vamos a vender muy, pero muy bien a nuestra minita de oro.
¿Estás novio? ¿Estás bien?
Then came that tragic morning. It was 8 a.m. on August 6, 2025, when Dr. Edward Kofi Omaneboama arrived at the Air Force Base in Accra. He was en route to Obuasi for a mining policy engagement. Dressed in all white, the minister asked his bodyguards and the ministry's cameraman to stay behind. There wasn't enough space in the helicopter. With a signature smile, he shook hands with the crew and waved as the chopper took off. Little did he know, it would be his final wave to his staff, his country, to the world.
Right, a video put together or helped us retrieved by the Ghana Armed Forces and put together well for, the last memories of the defense minister and the team he actually went with. Sometimes you watch the video and you wish that that final moment of his wave could have been reversed and he will still be with us, or he would have still been with us today. But ki sera sera. Let's speak with Samuel Kwesi Apapeniel. He is the one giving us a report from the Enoko about this emergency landing we were told about. You saw the video some minutes ago. I'm sure they'll put it up. But Samuel, good afternoon to you.
Hello, good afternoon.
Thank you for agreeing to speak with us. So give us a brief, first of all, how is Enoko and the mountainous areas doing?
Currently, everything is calm here. In the morning when we heard that there has been an emergency landing by an helicopter at one of the schools, New Generation Junior High School at Apenkrum near Enoko. Many people were very anxious and they rushed to the scene to catch a glimpse of what was actually happening. And so we were able to also establish contact with the municipal chief executive for the area.
So when you went,
confirmed to make news that indeed there has been an emergency landing and that we're rushing to the scene. So also go to the scene.
Okay, so when you went to the scene, what exactly were you told? Which official was there?
Blue helicopter with registration number 9 AFW has landed at the place called New Generation Apenkrom near Enoko. And so we had a chat with the pilot by name Captain John Kaliati. As a French national, there are 2, and then we also have 2 Ghanaians who were on board. So in total, we had 4 people who were on board the helicopter to Kumasi in the Asante region, precisely at the Akroma gold mines in SAC in the Asante region. According to the pilot, he landed because visibility was very poor, and so he decided that he has to land at the place. So that was what happened in the morning. Currently, as we speak, the helicopter has taken off, and it took off at 11:50 a.m. So an interval of 1 hour 40 minutes that it's delayed at the place. So at exactly 11:50 a.m., the helicopter took off to the Akroma gold mines and Sase in the Asante region. So that's the current situation now. I must say that the Honorable Tamimu Alidu, the municipal chief executive for the area, did very well, and he has really demonstrated as being in charge of the MUSEC at the Kowu West municipality. So it all happened, all that we've heard is true. There has been an emergency landing, and as we speak now, it has taken off to the Akroma gold mines in SRC in the Asante region.
The crew that was, on board, when you spoke with them, including the pilot, what was his demeanor like? Did he appear as though he was in control, or there was some fear written all over him?
Oh, they were cool. They said it's part of their training. So when visibility is poor, the good thing you have to do is that you have to look for a plane, then you land. And so it was for safety grounds that they landed at the plane. That's why they landed. They were okay, they were fine. And so when it was 11:50, they took off.
And now, you said there were 4 on board, right?
Yes, there were 2 Ghanaians and then 2 French nationals, and they work with the Akroma gold mine. The pilot himself, he works with Volta River Aviation Department. So Mr. John Kachali is the pilot for Volta River Aviation based in Accra. So he's the one flying the helicopter, and the incident nearly happened.
How about the people in the area? Did we have a lot of, the residents come around to maybe view what exactly was happening? Because it looks like a lot of people are now very much alert, around them, especially the areas where helicopters fly.
Yes, when the helicopter was coming down, the people started rushing the scene because of what the tragedy that has happened. But when they came, everybody was happy that nothing bad untoward happened, and the crew also were very happy seeing the people also come around.
Yeah.
And so the atmosphere, but initially everybody was trooping to the area to catch a glimpse at the helicopter, what has happened there. But thanks be to God, the atmosphere now has been very good, and everything is in normalcy now.
The area where they landed, is it a safe place where, helicopters normally will use as emergency landing,
Not
sites?
really, but even though it's a park, not really, because you have a school just close, New Generation.
Oh, wow.
In high school, just close to the place. And so it's not a place that you can say that it should be demarcated for emergency landing. Maybe as discussions are not going there, as part of national discussions, we can earmark certain areas that can be used for emergency landing if that's possible by experts though. But looking at where it's landed and the place close to a school, and so I don't think that it could be used for such
That's exactly what I was thinking, because we've seen that in situations like this or in weather conditions like this, when the choppers take off, obviously, if there's a situation, they have to look for, emergency landing.
And if you can come, if you can repeat the question, because the line is very
bad.
terrible.
Apologies. My line, maybe the weather is also affecting my line today. Can you hear me now? Hello, Samuel, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, can you hear me? Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
It's better. Okay, so I was asking, I was thinking along the same line where you were speaking. From where you are, the place is a bit mountainous, but if we are trying to secure places for emergency landings for choppers like these, we can find them, right?
Yes, you can find them, because during the Kwewu Easter festivity, when they do the paragliding, there's a place where, when they do the paragliding, they're about to land at the safer grounds at Enoko. So I believe that place can be designated for such emergency landing. So far, those areas are mountainous areas. I believe that place can be a safe grounds for such a station for them. So
anyway.
Obviously, if you are looking for a place for a safe landing, we can get some at the Enoko. The Enoko municipality, that's the Kwewu West municipality, or the Kwewu municipal, is a ground, that is on the ground nature. But when you move up north to Kwewu East and then Kwewu South, then you are climbing the mountain. But Enoko is down, and so for the down aspect, we can get a place for safe landing.
For safe landing. Is this something that, the people in these areas, have you had these conversations amongst yourselves? Because it's not, I know that Accra is choked sometimes. As government, they try to decentralize some of the activities. But are you having these conversations amongst yourselves that, well, these places can be used for such and such and such?
No. As we speak currently, I believe that it's one of the conversations that is coming up, because the MC has promised to grant us an exclusive interview, and so we look forward to that interview. Maybe in the course of the interview, maybe to the Kwewu West Municipal, they can have a place of that nature, because you see that on that stretch, that would be a safe place for such an emergency landing. In fact, that they have the Kwewu Paragliding Festival every year, every Easter. I believe by this conversation, I believe it will come up strongly, and I believe that the Kwewu West Assembly will take a look at it. And also, if possible, they will collaborate with the aviation of department ministry in Ghana, so for them to also assess the area well, so that we can have an emergency landing in some of our designated areas, especially where it is going to the remotest areas. I believe that we can have. So that conversation will be coming up soon. So we are also waiting to have an interview with the MC and also see what he has for us. But he has been phenomenal in this instance.
All right, Samuel Kwesi Apa Peniel. I hope I got the name correctly.
Yeah, very correct. Very correct.
Right. I am so grateful for you spending this time and you have confirmed that the flight, the helicopter has moved.
Yes, has taken off. Yes,
has taken off
at exactly 11:50 a.m.
11:50
a.m.
So this whole time, were you there this time? This whole time, were you there?
Please, Annie.
You were there?
No, at the time it was taken off. We moved back there. We are working with the MUSEC, so through the MC, which is the municipal chief executive for the area, Honorable Tamimu Alidu, just updated me. Immediately, it took off at 11:50 a.m. He gave me the 11:50 a.m. It took off. So with the record of the security services, who supervise everything, the helicopter took off at exactly 11:50 a.m. 1 hour interval, 1 hour 40 minutes intervals after making an emergency landing at Ampenkrum near Enoko in the eastern region.
I'm grateful for your time, Samuel Kwesi Apa Peniel, for the details and obviously nice picture you have painted to us. I think the part of the report that excites me is the part that the people all rushed to the scene to see, is there any emergency that will need our support? And obviously, they were overly excited. I wish I had a video of that, that they saw the plane land, safely until it took off again. I mean, the helicopter, until it took off again. And probably that's what we expect from every single Ghanaian. Be a part. Just be a part of the growth and the attempts that we are putting in to support each other. You're still watching Good Afternoon Ghana here on Metro TV. We will give you, I'm told, some brief video that was also put together by the Ghana Air Force, I think Takrady Base, on the 3 military men that were part of this disaster we recorded. Let's have a look at how the video is put together.
Today, as we bid farewell to Sergeant Mensah, let us safeguard our cherished peace, which is worthy of our utmost sacrifice.
Lion Officer Manen Chum Ampedu. Manen was a kind and gentle soul, earning his wings through sheer discipline and dedication. Calm and collected under pressure, he would often punctuate tense moments with his very trademark smile. Pardon leader Peter Bafemi Amala. Many of us, Peter was a skilled aviator. He was a mentor, colleague, friend, family man, and a consummate professional.
There is a God, and because of him, it shall be well with us.
Our base, our Air Force, and indeed our nation was shaken by this tragic event.
So, apologies. Let's wrap up the show this way, as I remind you of a direction that has come from the presidency, and it reads that in the wake of the profound sorrow following the tragic helicopter crash on the 6th of August 2025, the Funeral Planning Committee extends a solemn invitation to all individuals, institutions, and public to come together in remembrance and honor the lives of those we so sadly lost. And as we prepare to bid farewell to our fallen compatriots, members of the public are encouraged to send their messages of condolences and heartfelt tributes for inclusion in an official brochure. So please submit your tributes via email, and the email is tributes@presidency.gov.gh, tributes@presidency.gov.gh. Deadline for submission is Wednesday, August 13, 2025, and the time is 12 noon GMT. So the state funeral details also says that a state funeral will be held to honor the victims on Friday, August 15, 2025 at Black Star Square, commencing at 8 a.m. It will commence at 8 a.m. So maybe may their courage, dedication, and spirit inspire us all to continue striving for a stronger, more united, and prosperous Ghana. Is signed by Felix Kwachiofosu, spokesperson for the President and Minister for Communication. We'll wrap up here. Thanks for watching.
I